So today I want to go over what we shouldn't and what we should do in Kendo. If you watched the previous, was it last week, video that I explained why the left foot shouldn't be like this, right? And some people, of course, say you keep your left. It is true, again, keep your left foot straight towards your opponent. Now, to me, it's left knee. Okay, as long as your knees are going towards your opponent, right? Left foot. If you try to have your left foot straight, and then that comes in like this. All right, some people do that. If you're trying to twist back like this, like again, probably you saw my body. So my body, right foot forward, right hand forward. So it should be a little bit side on, right? Not too much, just a little bit, okay? So that means your body is turning. This is your body going straight, right? Facing straight. Now, right side is forward. So you turn like this, right? That's natural. That's natural. So your pelvis also turn to your left a little bit, right? Right foot forward, right foot forward, right hand forward. So entire body, half of your body, right side is going forward. So of course pelvis is going a little bit to your left. That means your left foot wants to go to your left, right? So, but if you go like this, yeah, this is a big no-no. But as long as you keep natural posture, okay, and then you go strike, that's good. So that's very important for everyone to, especially adult learners. It is very important again. You do what your teacher tell you to do, because they have more experience than you, and sometimes you don't know why. Sometimes you have to find why, okay? But most of the time we can give you why. A lot of people skip reasons because we don't have much time in training. So we want to move our body more than talking. So that's why a lot of people skips. But today I want to explain certain things we do movement-wise. Culture-wise, yes, if I talk about culture-wise, there are a lot of things to talk about. So if you buy this through Amazon, I share some cultural aspects of Kendo and historical aspect of Kendo, so it's in it. Now, of course, they are on my website as well, and you are more than welcome to ask me through this. But today, I am not going to go over cultural differences and a cultural aspect of Kendo much. Of course, culture, history is in Kendo, so I'm going over it, but I am going to especially talk about movements. All right, so now Kendo and Katana, we can't separate those together, separate those away. All right, so Kendo, we have Katana, right? Now, a lot of people say we don't use Katana in Kendo. Correct, we use bamboo sword, we use bokuto. But when we do kata, right? Kata, if you're good, we use katana looking, blunt sword. So you cannot cut. But when you do kata, if you're good, we use one of those. All right. So of course they are harder because sometimes you have to. We don't really hit each other, but it has to be stronger than aluminum. All right. So anyway, so when you draw out your sword, okay, some Kendo people who don't really learn how to draw out their sword, they draw out their sword like this, from underneath, boom, like that, right? Or to the sideways like this. Now, the reason why you shouldn't be doing, right, is this. Right? Kendo is from Katana, samurai swordsmanship, there's no doubt about it. Alright, so when you draw out your sword, it goes over like this. That's why. Alright? Now, it is true, we do draw like this from underneath as well. There's a slash though, right? And to the sideways, like that. Yes, we do that, right? But this one, 1, 2, this is not a cutting, it's not attacking. We draw out our sword and this is sonkyo in Kendo. And then when you hear hajime, you start, well, especially when you're in a match. We have a referee, so on referee's, hajime, begin, the command, we start fighting, right? So this is why. So we, again, it is true we don't use, we don't practice how to draw out our sword in Kendo. I think we should, but we don't usually. Okay, so yes, some people say we don't use katana in Kendo. Yes, I understand that, but all the movement, 1, 2, 3, and how to draw out your shinai, all right? We say nuke to. Nuke means draw, to means sword. We use bamboo sword, right? So we cannot separate this concept of the katana from Kendo, So yes, please don't argue with me about, oh, we don't use the katana. That's true. I give it to you. But Kendo is from samurai swordsmanship. Okay? And the same reason, 1, 2, 3, you draw out, right? Or same reason, we don't have our sword right here. In front, a little bit forward. Okay? Because like katana, when you put your sword into your obi, it should be right here. Okay? So you go 1, 2, 3, and from top. Okay? You don't have to go like that. Okay? You don't have to do that because we don't have saya. But I want you to understand why we do this. If you know why, you never do this, right? So I'm trying to prevent this, and I want you to know this is Kendo. Okay, Kendo is not only this part, not this part. Okay, this is a part. Of course, this is a part of the Kendo, and everything is part of Kendo actually, right? And you have to lock your sword because you lock your sword. All right. Oops. Hop. Okay. So you lock your sword at 1, 2, 3, and when you take Chudan, of course we have V. All right, V. And a lot of sensei, this is depends on your sensei, what your sensei says. No right or wrong. Some sensei says grab your left hand position, pinky position actually, okay, at the end of tsuka, or the end of tsuka is touching the half of your pinky. Okay, half of your pinky. So you try. Okay, what I do, this pinky is at the end of the tsuka. Okay, that's what I do. Okay, and you're more than welcome to do half of the pinky is on the tsuka and half is out of tsuka. Sometimes you do that. Okay, you experiment and then do that, right? Choose whichever you want. And if your sensei says do this, follow that, right? And then see what happens. And then try to change a little bit. Okay, once you put kote on, the gloves on, he can't see you what you are doing, so that's on your own. Okay, so that is the reason. And another thing, okay, sword, when you grab your sword like this. Okay, so tsuka is out. All right, that's because we have this knot here. Okay, we don't grab like this. It actually hurts my fingers. All right, so it's like that. Now, and then you take Chudan like this. Okay. Now, why don't we do that with Shinai? If we do that, you might stab yourself. As a matter of fact, sometimes it actually happens because we don't do this. It doesn't happen much. But if we grab like this, your arm will stop your sword touching you like this, right? But if you have sword like that, right, it will stab your tummy. Okay, and that's mainly why you don't do this with Shinai, and it's longer, so you want to do this maybe. And some people do this as well. Now, as a matter of fact, when you grab your sword, the katana, you do a little bit like this. And I think a lot of us Kendo people do this. All right, that's the reason why we do is we have gloves, right? Gloves, kote, and we have thickness. Kote is thick. So when you grab your sword without kote, this is fine. But with kote, if you do that, that is something frowned upon. That's because you have frowned upon because it's harder to maneuver your sword, because basically from here to here gets longer. The longer it gets, the harder to strike. Okay, of course, if you feel like you're doing this, but that's fine. But especially when you strike do or something, it's really hard. Okay, so Kendo wise, right? Kendo wise and proper Kendo wise, if you want to strike proper do, just here. Okay, here and basically Shinai as well is well made actually. From the third of the length of a Shinai here, this is called Nabajime. This should be at the third, and apparently they changed it. They changed it to the a fourth. Okay, fourth. So it's probably like here now. For me, it was third. So it was about here. But anyway, so monouchi is here. If it's like too long, I mean, it's all changed the balance. Okay, so Shinai is also made, hopefully, for to strike really good, right? So it has balance actually. So if you want to grab like this, probably you should change the length of tsuka. Okay, this is really, and also like again, it's hard to maneuver, and it's quite dangerous to what do you call it? My experience, okay, is harder to do counterattack either. Okay, so my experience, if I do this, they're gonna get my kote easily. I don't know why, but that happened. That happened actually. So through my experience, it is not good kamae. Okay, so make sure you can leave here like probably one finger away. So when you put kote on gloves on, your kote is touching the tsuba. Okay, we Kendo people don't really use the real sword. Okay, if you, but I don't see why not. But again, Kendo is practicing striking, we train ourselves through striking each other, right? It's a bad, sounds bad, but you get hit and you learn your weaknesses. Oh, that was bad. That's why I got hit. I should do this, I should do that, right? You actually, through getting hit, you're learning your weaknesses, mental weaknesses, physical weaknesses. So that is the Kendo, okay? And Iaido is the way of drawing sword. That is forms, and they do use real sword. Okay, so yeah, that's the difference. But again, we came from the same origin. Then we took our own path. So that's the difference anyway. So yes, when you grab your sword, then make sure your right hand is close to Tsuba, maybe one finger away. It's okay. Okay, and some people say, okay, again, katana and Shinai is a bit different. So as you can see, length of handle, Tsuka, they are different, aren't they? And of course, length of blade. See, they are different. This is a lot longer. So of course, different weapon, different way of using it. And like my kamae is a little bit too crooked. But that's my sensei does, so I'm following my sensei. Anyway, so this, you can see the stitch. Usually your this part between your thumb and index finger, okay, it should be above these stitches. Okay, this is, as you can see, this is kind of flat Tsuka like katana, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, I think it's octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I lost it. One of my good friends, Kendo mates, gave it to me because he didn't like it, so I like it, so I'm using it. So yes, a lot of Shinai, you might like certain Shinai and you might not like, so through your experience, you'll find your favorite type of Shinai. So from here, make sure stitches, this finger, the part between index finger and thumb should be over the stitches. Okay, and because I don't have time, I'm gonna skip a lot of things. But when you strike, okay, a lot of people, this is controversial, and I'm going to talk about it, okay? A lot of sensei, yes, say your right hand should be your shoulder height, okay? And then you go like this. Left hand, solar plexus. Now, if you do that, can you see where I'm striking? I'm not striking men. And so a lot of sensei again say you have to cut down to your ear level or eye level. So if I do that, I have to do this. Okay? I have to do this. Now, that's not how I learned. A lot of people do that, and I'm not saying they're wrong, because a lot of people do it and a lot of sensei say to do it, but I will say that's not what I learned from my sensei, so I'm going to share what I learned. So left hand is solar plexus height. Okay, so solar plexus is this, you have rib cage here, right from here. This is chest, and I have chest bone here. It ends right here. A little bit lower than chest bone. This is solar plexus. My left hand should be the height of the solar plexus. Like this here. Is it? Am I right? Yeah, right? Yeah, here. Now, this is good. And now you can see my Tensaki, the tip of the sword, is around my eye height or a little bit lower, maybe chin height. Okay, like that. Okay. Now I put my right hand, so I don't put my right hand at shoulder height. I put my hand there, so like this. Okay. This. That. Okay. That way I can keep my shoulders down. I can keep my shoulders down, so I don't do like that. It hurts my shoulder. If I do that over and over, probably my shoulder will cry. Okay, so I do that. And then if I do that, my elbow, this is another question, elbow should be straight or not? My perspective and the way I learned, they shouldn't be straight because it hurts. From here, try. A little bit, you should have little, it should be a little bent. And if I need to, I go, I'm not going to lock my elbow, but I can stretch a little bit. But doesn't mean this, okay? This is another example of not, when I say you keep your left hand solar plexus, they do this. What about mid striking? It should go like this, okay? So, you can relax your right shoulder that way, okay? And this is also relaxed. So, that's the reason why I do this and I don't do that.